Crazy Horse says when a person is alone in a relationship, they will eventually leave the relationship. Having left, if still feeling alone, they will often delude themselves about the relationship and return to it. All this will achieve is to convince them that they were right to leave in the first time.
What slow learners we are,
Yeah.
that we'd walk out of a relationship and either go back to it, or what often happens, we go into one just the same,
Yeah.
because we don't want to be alone.
Because we don't make the change, because
Exactly.
we don't do the introspection, because we don't spend that period of time alone, rather than lonely, but alone, to find out what did I do that was wrong in that relationship, or how did I get into it in the first place, making decisions that weren't correct for me to be in it in the first place.
Therefore, I would say that aloneness is a consequence of laziness.
How often do we see this person comes out of a marriage or a relationship? We see this particularly with men. They don't want to be alone. They don't want to fend for self. Within 6 months, they're in a new relationship, and within 2 years, that relationship has fallen apart as well, because the relationship started with all the wrong reasons at the start, where the person really needed to be alone for probably a couple of years to find the true feelings, find the true inspiration, aspiration, what do I want from life, and therefore be able to recognize the person who can help them find those things.
Aloneness is a state of rejecting all of the energetic help available on Earth, as well as the spiritual world, as you become consumed with the difficulty of Earth's journey. Life on Earth cannot be lived fully without understanding both your physical and spiritual obligations.
That's saying it's a choice, which it is. We actually have to reject everything and everyone around us to be alone or to be lonely. And that's a choice to be unhappy. We don't want to fight through it, so we want to find a justification. And the justification is that I'm alone. This is too hard. We're not only equipped to face everything, there's always going to be the help around us to face everything. When we turn our back on that, we're saying, no, we don't want to actually do anything. I'm happier, unhappy.
And then that's selfish.
Yeah, and it can also come from a broken relationship where a person has made an emotional disconnect, where a person has had a failed relationship, they've had a love, they've lost that love, they've never dealt with the hurt, the loss, the grief, the pain, and so they say, I can never trust again. I'm not going to trust another person again. I'm not going to make that emotional connection again. So they put themselves into a place of emotional bereavement.
Aloneness is a time to reflect, ponder and reevaluate your life. If you do not use your alone time to do this, you will become lonely. If you do use your alone time to do this, the feeling of being lonely will emerge within you as a signal that it is time for the new you to re-engage with the world.
That introduces to the topic of being a hermit. And from time to time, we all think that would be nice. We all need some time alone. And that will come oftentimes after a problem in a relationship or work or whatsoever, where we have to really think about who we are and what we want. And we pull ourselves away physically or go on a trip or just mentally and emotionally. What we have to do is use that time to get ready for the next phase. We're not meant to be a permanent hermit. We're meant to exchange energy. And exactly as it said there, when's the time to re-emerge into society and take our role? When we start to feel lonely. At that point, it's time to stop that notion of being a hermit.